Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Trip Foreman, and this is the Chilli Black Vulture. This board is a good mid-range board. Actually, it's a great mid-range board. Kind of fits in between your groveler and your high-performance shortboard. It's actually got a little bit of both in it. And we just got back from a trip to Mexico, surfing long left-hand point breaks, and had a great opportunity to try this board and dial it in, and give you some great, give you some feedback on it. So the Black Vulture, you can see it's got a little bit, compared to a high-performance shortboard, it's got a little bit more nose area, and it's got a little bit flatter entry rocker. It carries a little bit more width through the board, and then it goes into a little bit of a bump wing right here, which is probably easier to see on the bottom. You can see a little bit of a elbow right there, pivot point in the rail, and then into a swallowtail. This board, I got to surf this board the day after I was surfing a fish, like a twin fin fish, a Christensen fish, all day. And what I noticed right off the bat is the ability for this board to go hard off the bottom and vertical up to the top of the wave. It's got a really good bottom turn off the bottom of the wave and a really good snap on the top of the wave. The other thing is, compared to a normal shortboard, it's definitely a little bit easier to paddle and a little bit easier to catch waves. So coming off of a twin fin fish, which is just about the easiest board to catch waves on as far as shortboards, and have glide on, this board still catches waves very easily, and also has good glide when you need to get across flat spots. But the ability to go vertical on it is definitely there, and have a good hard cutback off the top of the wave. The Chillis in general tend to be a little bit thinner. So this board is 37 liters, and typically in this style board I'm running like 39 and a half, or maybe even 40. But what I noticed is that on this, having that thin rail was really nice, especially at the speeds. And the Chillis in general, what I've found is that they have a little bit more float than what the number says. So typically, and we call them like Chilli liters. So rather than although it is liters, but rather than milliliters, if you say the word chilliliters, it kind of rolls off like that. But so this one's 37.6. So I'd put this board at probably 38 and a half of what it would have compared to some other boards, and it just has a really good roll through the turns and vertical when you want it to go vertical. It has the glide if you're in flat spots. It has the ability to, it has really good drive too down the line. If it's sectioning out ahead of you, you have the ability to get down there and get down there quickly. The board sets up really nice in a bunch of different ways, a bunch of different fin configurations. It comes 5-fin, either FCS2 or Futures. This is the board that we took, and so we were riding FCS2. We rode it as a thruster, we rode it as a quad, and then we also rode it with the MR twin fin plus the little stabilizer. And all three of those fin sets worked really well and had their advantages in different conditions. The board, in general, is pretty conservative in the rocker line of the board. You can see that there's not a lot of rocker through the board. It does have a little bit of a kick, actually, right at this wing, right here, right at this bump wing. If you follow that, you look at that point right there where my finger is, you could see the tail kick up a little bit just after that, actually right at that from there back to the end of the tail. And that's what allows you to really come hard off the bottom and go vertical when you want to. One of the nice things about the Chillis are the attention to detail in some of the finishing touches on the board. All of the Black Vultures come with carbon tail patches. They all come with this custom Chilli leash plug. They all have the Inegra strips on the bottom of the board. So there's a reinforcement strip. You can see 6 lines of Inegra here, or at least I can. I'm not sure if you can see it there because it's a white colored cloth, but here and here. And what that does is reinforce the board and prevent it from buckling or breaking, as well as you're always going to see on the Chillis this signature strip. And this is actually just a piece of black fiberglass, this one strand that runs the length of the board and then wraps around the nose. And that's on every Chilli board, and that's just an easy way to identify that it's a Chilli. So those nice details like the Inegra strips and the carbon tail patch and the custom leash plug you're going to find on all the Chillis. It is the Chilli Black Vulture, and this would be a great board. It's a great single board if you're looking for just one board to cover a huge range and you want to have a lower volume board. this would be a great board for it because it does grovel decently, as well as you can ride it, you know, into the range you're going to ride a shortboard in. It's also a good, what they would call in-betweener, in between your gravel board and your performance board, or in between your gravel board and like your barrel board. It's just a great all-around board. Definitely recommend it, and so check it out. It is the Chilli Black Vulture. If you have any questions about the Black Vulture or any of the other Chilli boards, give us a call at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing.